G'day guys, welcome back to Saturday Sessions on the fanbabblesports.com YouTube and the fanbabblesports.com websites. I am back after a week off. I noticed you guys had a lot of fun, Jared, Benny, without me being there. The Overlord is
Yes,
back
the
now.
return
Welcome
of
back.
the Overlord. Notice how quiet we are now.
We welcome in Chris, one of our head writers at the moment. He's
Yo.
first time really on anything other than the blog. So welcome, Chris.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So, all right, boys, it's that time. Crack your drinks. Oh, yeah. Oh, damn, that is good. Holy shit, that I almost want to mention what I'm drinking, but I won't until they pay us. But
Make it rain.
Hang
Make
on.
it rain.
How about
Well,
what you pay us first, and then we'll talk about mentioning
people
things.
they have to pay me before I can pay you guys. Like that's kind of the way it works. It's
All right, here's
trickle-down
an idea. Buy me
economics.
lunch, and I won't complain anymore.
Christmas party, dinner, canola ourselves.
All right, done.
That's what it'll
Done.
be. I guess talking sport, Saturday Sessions, getting in early because we have the AFL Grand Final on tonight, 7:15 bounce in Perth. I hate it. It's too late, but I am excited for the game. Benny, you did your preview overnight, which is up on our
Yep.
website now and on your Ben's Vlogs and Things YouTube channel.
Yep.
Check it out. We've linked it on the Facebooks and the Twitters. Or maybe the Twitters. If I haven't done that, I will do it soon.
Clown.
But definitely on the Facebooks. I mean, we've given our opinions, Benny. Chris,
Yep.
Nugget, you kind of gave yours. It didn't get out on the video because we kind of screwed up with the audio. But,
And there were the gremlins in the system.
yeah, it's rookie stuff here. But what are your thoughts on the AFL Grand Final today?
Well, my thoughts is it's the first grand final I've been able to watch since 2004,
Fair?
which is fantastic
Yeah.
that community sport is not happening, and two, that it's in fucking WA. Other than that, this will be the first game of AFL I've watched since 2004. Not a sport I regularly sit down and enjoy. I used to like going to live games when I used to get free tickets here and there because that was always entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
More or less, not for the football, just the crowd, and
Yelling
the characters
balls.
you find there.
Yeah.
Watching the umpires warm up was always fun. But look, my predictions for this game, considering I have nothing to go on, I've just stolen my brother's multi. So we've gone for the Bulldogs in the upset.
Good pick.
Could be, yeah. Bontempelli, I believe his name is, as
The
Norm
Bont.
Smith. Yeah, Norm Smith.
Yep.
Good chance.
And who did I? And then I had some.
You had
Bees
Bailey
player.
Frisch. First
Bailey
goal scorer.
Frisch, that's
Bailey
the one.
Frisch.
Bailey Frisch for first goal.
Good
So I
chance.
think,
Yeah.
Melbourne will probably score first, but just want the Dogs to get up and.
I'm the same. I think D's will score first, but the Dogs will still win. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Well, since the Pies aren't out, I don't really care.
Yeah, smart man.
But I do believe, look, sport's a fairy tale. I think the D's are due. And I think with the Neil Danaher having MND, I definitely think that the D's are going to get up.
Yeah, it's,
Well, I just think they're going to be too solid defensively.
They've been building for years.
Yeah.
And it's been good to watch, but I didn't expect them to be in the grand final, but here we are.
no one did. Even the pros picked them in 10th and 11th. So
Well, yeah. Well, in my video I put out this morning, I actually said in that, like, I thought the D's would probably finish maybe 7th, 8th, and just scrape in and maybe get a win in the elimination final and then maybe push on next year. But as you said, even look at the pros. Like, they've surprised a lot of people this year. And I think the big thing is their ground ball work is killing it. Their work around the stoppages. They hit out. Max Gawn's winning the hit outs nearly 99% of the time. And you've got someone like Stephen Mace. And I know you don't want to talk about it, Jamie. In that game against Geelong, even when he was injured, he marshaled that defence perfectly.
it's supposed to be a big deal that he was injured and the Cats were going to run over them from that moment.
Yeah.
I think we scored like 3 goals for the rest of the fucking game. So
Yeah. And he didn't play the second half.
no, it was a great decision that he would get injured and the Cats would then somehow go and win a game that they weren't even in from the start. So I think my biggest thing for this game is the points is over. The over-under is 155.5. It is not even going to be close to that. It will be 170, 180, 190 points this game. It's a game that could be 118 to 114, something like that. I don't think defense is going to be too key. I think 155 for the over is way too low.
See, I think the D's defence is going to hold strong big time.
Bulldogs have so many weapons up forward, but especially the young crummers. Bailey Smith's going to get 4 and win the Norm Smith, and I'm going to have to get some horrid haircut. So
What's how horrid are we talking? Because your one at the moment is pretty bad.
Have you seen Bailey Smith?
Bailey Smith is a gorgeous human being. I don't know what you're
But
talking
I'm
about.
gonna have to shave the beard, and I don't have a chin, so and leave the mustache, which
Hang
just
on,
makes it
hang on.
worse.
What? No, you have multiple chins, not
No, I
one, not
don't
singular,
have-
multiple.
I don't have a chin. Like it's just not there anymore. I don't know what happens, but it's going to be a good game. Is there any? I haven't really heard this being said. I see it in a lot of fan groups, but the fact that it's not at the G isn't one of those things where the other team will go, it doesn't count anyway. We want to win. Like if the Bulldogs lose, will they say, we won when it was at the G? It's more relevant than a Optus Stadium. Like
I don't know. It's one of those things.
Well,
so I'm
the
glad
thing
we
is,
didn't win
though,
last year.
the thing is though, what's it called? Is it called the grand final?
Yeah.
Well, then it counts. Like, I think it doesn't matter where the fuck it is. Like,
No,
It's
Yeah.
the G, but
I think
who gives a
Dane-
shit?
Dane Swan said last year that the only fans who are ever going to care are the winners. Last year we had with COVID, everyone didn't care. Doesn't matter
Yeah,
if you runner up or not.
Last year.
definitely didn't care.
I think that
Richmond beat the Cats in the final.
Yeah.
It needs
They
to be a
never
classic. I think leaving the G for the first time or second time in a row now, it needs to be a classic.
Yep. Can't be a boring, or it can't be a 70-point thrashing.
well, even though you're a Geelong fan, Jamie, you've got to admit last year's game was a classic. It was a great
It was.
grand final.
Yeah, we were down early and we came back, then got a lead, and then they came back. It was a game of for 4 quarters, basically. So
But the thing is,
Oh, sure.
but with this game, like we mentioned it in the failed video, and I mentioned it again in the video I put up, is like Jake Lever for the D's, the only player on their side that's played in the grand final with that.
Yep.
And he played against Richmond in 2017 with that when he was with that at Adelaide. You look at the Dogs; they have 11 players in their squad that have got that experience. But yet again, being at Optus, does that really negate having that grand final experience? You know what I mean? Like per se, like not being at the G, and especially for Melbourne with the pressure they're under, not being in Melbourne for grand final week, that sort of alleviates a bit of that pressure somewhat.
I did watch the they had the live captain's run yesterday. I
Yeah.
was sitting at the pub watching it, enjoying a great meal. Thank God.
You're doing
And,
what?
enjoying a great meal.
Where?
At a pub.
What's that?
It's this magical place where you can buy alcoholic beverages and food, and there are pokies there, but I didn't go near them. But
Did you have a palmy or a palmer?
I actually had a palmy. I usually
Good
get a
man.
steak, but I was supposed to have steak for dinner. Ended up having KFC. Long story, but I did
I
have
hate
a.
when that happens, don't you? Oh,
Yeah, it's all things just get all over the place. But they were talking about the Melbourne players were like, it just feels like any other game because, you know, we've not been to like most of the squad doesn't know what a grand final feels like. They're
Well,
really treating it like
their
it was
last
the
grand-
prelim final.
And
Their last grand final was 2000 against
Yeah.
the Bombers.
Yep.
But
Year
yeah,
after Gary Lyon
like, the
retired.
only thing I really know a lot about AFL is the grand final, like the lead up to the grand final week is like a massive event in Melbourne.
Yep.
And considering you're not getting that this time around, and probably the same as last year,
Yeah.
couldn't tell you.
So
But yeah,
I
it just seems like another game to me.
I was down
Probably
there
more to
for
a lot of the players.
2010 grand final, Pies versus St Kilda.
No,
I
we're not
went
talking
down
that.
for-
We're not talking that. We are not talking that.
I went down for both, and that first week was fantastic. We did the footy show, we did the parade.
Yep.
Even the Fox Footy had the before the game and stuff at Fed Square. It was I've never seen a city more buoyant than Melbourne was that whole week. And then to go back the week after for the replay, it was just like a normal round.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the emotion had already happened.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, people, I came back up to Sydney, you know, the next day and people were like, oh, it's a draw. What happens, you know? And I said, look, I'm fantastic that there's a replay because if it went to extra time, I said the Pies would have lost. St Kilda had all the run.
It should have gone to extra time.
Yeah,
No,
of
it
course you would say that.
It should have gone to extra time.
Because if it went to extra time, we would have lost. Yeah, whatever.
That would have been
No, it's
awesome
going
for
to a
me.
penalty shootout.
Would we have seen the greatest smother of all time?
No, and I always mention
And that was in front of me. I was on that side, and
But see, I think that by having that, they took the gloss off of Goddard's mark. Somewhat.
No, not really.
That smother is an all-time moment in AFL history. It will be played on grand final day for decades to come.
No, it was.
Just kick the
And
ball.
even
And I'll turn it off when it's put on.
Just kick the ball 2 steps earlier, and you kick a goal, and you probably like win the
my,
game.
my old boss had a signed St Kilda jersey from that year, and it had grand finalists and stuff. And I used to pass it off and say, "Hey, do you want me to bring you a Premier's jersey in?"
Now I understand why he was your old boss.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all right, Benny. They're building there. Saints will be in the finals next year, and in a couple of decades they'll make a grand final again. It'll be good.
St Kilda fans are just like Liverpool fans. Next year's our year.
Sounds an awful lot like Arsenal fans as well.
Remember '98 and Nottingham Forest fans going back to our meeting last night. You guys have never won a cup.
Well, you haven't won a cup. I don't know what you mean. I'm not saying that we're going to win one anytime soon, but we're more of a chance to win one than you guys are.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think that's enough for the AFL Grand Final.
Yeah,
You're speaking words at me that I don't understand.
The worst part is we got to wait still another 5 hours until the first bounce. So
Yeah, that's annoying.
don't enjoy this. It should have been kicking off. Actually, it should have already been first bounce. So I'm incredibly annoyed that we're not doing this. Well, we wouldn't have been doing it during the grand final, but it does give us a chance to, do this before the grand final. And next year, hopefully, we'll be doing a watch along, watching the Cats beat some poor hapless souls in the grand final. So
No, we
I tell you
Sure,
what,
mate.
Cats won't make the final next year.
oh,
No.
you people don't
No.
understand. You don't understand how good our list is.
No,
seriously, you've
No,
gone
I
from
don't.
this year playing
I
in
don't
a
watch the sport.
retirement home to next year you're going to be playing in a funeral home.
Mate, Cam Guthrie, Zach Guthrie, Brian Myers. We got boys coming through that are young and good. We are going to be there.
Oh, sorry to bring football soccer into it. You got boys there, so you're going to bring Gylfi Sigurdsson and Adam Johnson in, are you? Or
You're going to just try and work that in every goddamn week? Like,
I don't think you people understand. Stop
Actually, he might have
assuming their
done-
genders. Both of them were with young women.
just every week he's working
did
that
it.
in.
Didn't someone on this panel have a Adam Johnson jersey?
That's can't be confirmed.
Are you wearing it right now?
He sleeps in it.
He cuddles with it every night. Oh, Adam, I miss you.
I burnt that thing just
Thank
after
you for
that
the
we first got
messages.
charged. So he's a scumbag. Moving on to the NRL. Yeah, we'll do NRL before Formula One because
Yeah.
last night, Benny, you're happy, but you're not happy. Rabbitohs won, but
They ruined my
your-
multi.
Your multi was gone about 5 minutes into the second half. So, but
my
good win.
multi was gone by half time.
Yeah, 5 tries were gone. So,
Yeah.
but good win. Totally unexpected. Manly were just shocking. They shit the bed just like they did against Melbourne. Can't show
Flat
up in the
track
big
bullies.
games. South's, what's the third team that Wayne Bennett's taken into a final? Benji Marshall's second grand final, 16 years apart.
Yeah.
Adam Reynolds gets a chance to go out on a high playing in the grand final. They will not win. No matter who they play in the grand final, they will not beat them. Putting it out there now. The game was kind of an anticlimax, but
Well, see,
Really?
I want to go back to the point I've made a couple of times. South Sydney in attack looks so much more lethal without Latrell Mitchell.
yeah, not one dimensional.
Yep. As
And
I said
tough,
last
man.
week, if they don't know what they're doing, neither does the opposition.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's like, because as I said, with Latrell, you see where he's lining up, you know where they're attacking straight up.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know with Taff because he's such the biggest unknown, which could also potentially play to their advantage next week in the grand final. Sorry.
No matter what, because as much as they thumped Manly last night, Melbourne Storm aren't losing tonight, and Melbourne Storm aren't losing next week.
I mean,
No, I second that one.
they could lose tonight. Penrith are a
Penrith
good
barely
team.
won against Parramatta.
That's what I
A
think.
second string Parramatta.
But they do have Brian Toto back, so
Also, let's
He
put it
makes
out
a big
there.
difference.
Last week's show, there was 3 other people on this panel that said Parramatta were going to win, and I was the only one that said Penrith was going to win.
And they're not here now. That's obviously why.
Yeah,
I'm
only
here.
one of them is because
but he only said that because the rest, like a lot of our mates, are Parramatta fans or had money on Parramatta, so
Yeah.
he just wanted to buck that trend.
Nah, Parry doesn't matter, so it doesn't. It's all good.
No, I
But,
think Storm will win, but I think Penrith could. It could be
So
40
I'm
to
not
12
30.
or
Well, I'm not sure because
Yeah.
everyone's talking about, Nathan Cleary hasn't played the Storm this year. Fair point. But even last week, he looked so injured and so
he
beat
was
down.
tired. He was tired.
Brian
They all
Todd, like, ankle injury. Like, realistically, he didn't even look, as I said in the post I put up, given my previous predictions for the prelims, that first game against South, he didn't play like himself. I think Penrith had that, going into that game, thought they had that game wrapped up against South. We're going to have last week off, be fresh coming into this week to go again. And I think that's the one thing that's going to end their season, which is going to be absolutely hilarious.
I just don't think they're going to underestimate Melbourne. They underestimated Souths. Horrible mistake. I think everyone underestimated Souths once Latrell Mitchell was suspended. but I don't think they'll underestimate Melbourne. But like Nugget said, they could win by 30. Melbourne could beat them by 30, but I hope they keep it close. Like, get the over.
I don't think
that's
it
what
will
I'm
be.
on.
I think it'll be
Look-
similar to last night.
I haven't watched any NRL since probably early 2000s.
Good man,
Um,
smart man.
I've seen what Craig Bellamy's done with Melbourne though, even through the salary cap bullshit and all that
Yep.
crap. Craig Bellamy, as much as I don't, once the players are on the field, it's up to them. But Craig Bellamy has a Ferguson effect. Besides having Robin van Persie in 2013, Alex Ferguson had an aging side with a midfield that consisted of Phil Jones and Tom Cleverley.
But Tom
Now-
he was supposed to be good.
He was, yeah, so was Phil Jones. Hasn't played since. But that's the thing. David Moyes came out the year after, and they just finished 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
Wherever Melbourne has Craig Bellamy, they will always be in the top 4, the last 4 of the year, and I don't see Melbourne being beaten in the grand final at all.
Well, in the article I put out a couple of weeks ago, I was looking at like the comparison between Melbourne being so good for so long and the Tigers being so bad for so long when they both really came in maybe 12 months apart. The Storm, since they came in 98, have only missed the finals 3 times. And one of those was 2010 in the salary cap year. And the
one
other
was
two-
first year they were in the comp.
No, they made it the first
Oh, did
year.
they? Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Their longest spell is 2 years, which I think was 2001, 2002. And that's their longest spell outside of the finals. They've got an average finishing position of 4th.
Yeah, they did the right thing putting Bellamy in charge.
But also look at who their feeder teams are. They're based in Queensland,
Yeah.
who has dominated the Origin for
In that
the
time?
last 20 years.
Yeah.
It's been Queensland, so they've
Yeah,
had the
Yeah.
cherry pick of the talent.
Yeah, you got 3 teams in Queensland, relatively, that they could go to, or they could go to one Melbourne team
Mhm.
who are dominating.
Only one of those 3 teams plays finals consistently.
Yeah.
And it's not Broncos, it's not the Cowboys, and it could be the Titans in the next couple of years, but it hasn't been in the past. So,
No.
yeah, I think Melbourne will win tonight. Hopefully not big, but I think, and Melbourne will win the grand final. Souths, they're just happy to be there. Just happy to be here, guys. Just happy to
24.
be here.
I'm going to say 24-8 full time.
Tonight?
Yep.
That's not going to hit the overs, but
I
I
don't
can't
care.
accept that. It needs to be at least 41 points.
No.
I,
it's not right there.
I think I'll put like 34-6 or something.
Nah, it'd
Again.
be like 60 nil.
That hits the over.
Penrith.
I'm more happy with that. I'm more happy with that. As long as it hits the over. Addo Carr get a hat trick in the first half, then I'll be confident. But yeah, I mean, the good thing for me last night was the referee didn't ruin the game too much. Sin bin was justified, but soft at the time. Like, come on, man, they're down by that much. 12 minutes to go. It wasn't the worst tackle in the fucking world. He landed on like the upper part of his back. Like,
I think the thing that made it worse was the forearm across the side of the head
that's
as well.
yeah. I hate
and
the
I-
fact that.
Grow
I
up.
don't
It
know
did
if you
slip,
guys. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, but like with the charges being given, he's facing 3 weeks with an early plea, or if he fights it, it's 4 weeks.
I thought,
You
to be
fight
fair,
it.
that was the only part of the game I actually saw last night because I just happened to walk into the room when it was on. And I thought that's the best hit I've ever seen. Granted, I haven't watched the game since the early 2000s.
No, the
Apparently,
best
that's illegal now.
best hit we've ever seen is that rugby union player that we talked about on Circle and Rectangle. You
That
guys
was the
didn't-
greatest hit I've ever seen.
Yeah, you guys see that video?
Yeah,
I would never load up every time I saw it, but
It's the greatest tackle I've ever seen in my
Unbelievable.
life. And he got sent off for it.
Yeah, it's worst case a yellow, maybe 2 weeks. I'd be unhappy if he got 2.
But yet,
oh my god,
these contact sports are becoming softer. Yet the EPL this year have turned around and said, we're just going to call play on to everything.
yeah, it's getting so much more physical.
what was it? I had a game I was playing a couple of years ago, and guys sort of run past me into the box. I've sort of stepped up and popped my elbow into him to try and put him off his line. He's turned around to me and gone, "Oh, you dumbass! This is a non-contact sport." It's like
He must have been.
it is a netball, mate. Like, it's,
I've had more injuries playing
hang on.
football than I have anything else.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
netball is a very physical sport too.
Yeah, you see the arms when those girls get off those courts,
Jesus.
man. Like,
well, I know it wasn't in what we want to talk about. Did you see that story coming out from Queensland about that boys team in the netball?
The boys
oh yeah,
netball team.
dominating
Yeah.
the netball. yeah.
You know what? I don't
Oh,
want to
shit.
get political, but they always say everyone should be treated fairly and equally. That's being treated fairly and equally, as far as I'm concerned. Don't you guys think?
They're getting abused by the crowd for how much they were beating the girls down by.
Yeah.
They're allowed to compete. They're allowed to compete. Like,
Yeah.
But in football, we don't get girls don't play against men in football. That's where I would be like, okay, well, maybe we need to look at a men's netball league because at under 12s, girls stop playing with the boys. Some girls are a lot better than a lot of the boys I've played with.
Well,
once
when
you
it
get
comes to
under
sport, they
12s.
stop playing with the boys.
Oh my god, this guy. Gilfie Sigurdsson Goldthorpe. All right, moving away from that topic.
Put that on a t-shirt.
No, we will not be. Formula One Grand Prix qualifying tonight. Sochi, Max Verstappen.
Sochi, not Sochi.
Sochi.
Max Sochi.
The biggest positive coming out of this one already is Nikita Mazepin will not be starting on the back of the grid. Max Verstappen will, and I couldn't be happier. Do not like that man.
No, I don't. I don't mind Verstappen. I hate Verstappen fans.
No, he's become
No,
a bit of a dick.
I agree to that one. I think
No.
I think he's a great. I think he's a great.
He's
driver.
don't get me wrong. He is a gun driver. He can be aggressive at sometimes, which is good for the sport. But then also,
Bitches when other people are
Catastrophe.
aggressive.
yeah. But
He never gives
look,
me room.
He's a good driver. One, he's a sook just like Hamilton is. But two, the fans. Same with Liverpool. I don't hate Liverpool Football Club. I hate Liverpool fans.
Well,
I hate both.
I kind of
Smart man.
Hope Scotty hears that.
I've never met a Liverpool fan that I've liked. So there you go. My mother-in-law's a Liverpool fan.
Well, you can take the
Anyways.
Liverpool fan away, and that's normal, isn't it?
Anyways,
I
back
think
to
we'll
the
put that on
F1.
the TikTok actually.
Yeah, look, Verstappen back of the grid because he's taken a 20
New
place
engine.
grid penalty for engine.
New
engine-
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I want to talk he was given a 3-place grid penalty for the incident involving Hamilton, and classic Max fans getting uproar about how it's inconsistent. But if you actually look at the rule books, 3-place grid penalty is equivalent to a 10-second time penalty.
If he
It's just the
continued
fact
racing,
that it's the fact that he also crashed out of the race.
yeah, if he continued racing, he would have got a 10-second
10
penalty, and they still would have bitched and whinged blaming Hamilton, but it is the exact same penalty. Just
My
Hamilton didn't
my
get it.
issue is with Red Bull conceding that penalty by changing the engine over and having him start from the back. I believe being only 5 points between them, they've handed Lewis the title.
I don't think so. No,
You
I
don't
think
reckon?
this. No, I think this is actually a very good play. New engine, so it's definitely it's got a few extra kilometers in it. Sochi is a track where you can make up places. Even
And-
starting 20th, he will be probably close to 15th after turn 1
Yeah,
because the front straight is so long. This is a good. I reckon it's a good play for Verstappen. I think he'll still podium, but this is still Mercedes' race to lose. They haven't lost in Sochi ever.
Yeah, it's 7 or 8 years dominance.
Well,
And the-
they haven't lost in Russia ever.
The fact that Bottas has already said he won't be there next year, I think they would just use him to block everyone else. Even though he's, from what I read this morning, he's the quickest at the moment, the two of them.
He is finished.
They will use him to block.
Lewis
is-
will qualify on pole. That's my
This is
guarantee.
Bottas's race. He's very good at in
and
Sochi.
he has won it twice. So
And the fact that because he's not there next year, he doesn't give a fuck.
if he
so
gets
he
the
could-
lead, team orders mean nothing to him.
Yeah.
It's on Lewis to actually race and get ahead of him, which could play into Red Bull's hands right there.
Mm-hmm,
They need Perez to step up, Buck. Like if it's 1-2 Mercedes on top and Perez gets his usual 7th or 8th, or even not even making Q3, it's all in Mercedes' hands to just play the team game, get out in front, build that gap, and then work. Bottas. If
And-
Bottas lead and he pits, Lewis pits the next lap, and they go. From
This
there.
could be also a very incident-laden race, as it is expected to be raining both in quali and in the race.
And Nikita Mazepin is, of course, racing, so it's always going to be incident filled. He'll spin
spin.
somewhere on the
Mazza
Mazza
spin.
Yeah. At his home track, of course, he's going to spin. He's going to spin a couple of times.
I just want him. To be fair, I want him to win. I want him to win so bad because it'll be hilarious.
Nah, he's a shit human. He doesn't deserve to win.
He's a terrible human being. Shouldn't be in the seat, but it will be funny.
I just want to see Haas win for Gunter. That man deserves success in his life. He is the most light-hearted team principal in the entire paddock. He deserves a win. The Gunter Steiner. But I also hope McLaren does well. Coming
Yep,
up a 1-2
100%.
finish, good speed, good quick cars on tracks like this. Lando Norris has every chance of splitting those Mercedes. Daniel Ricciardo could be in that top 5. Could be another great finish from McLaren ahead of Ferrari.
The Ferraris have looked good in FP1 as well, so
What
they're
was
starting
FP?
to come good in.
I know Leclerc had a couple of issues spinning in FP2, but
Yeah, the same corner. Him and Giovinazzi spun at the same corner. Giovinazzi actually put it in the
Put it in
wall
the
though.
wall,
Can't
yep.
like stopping FP2 for about 10 minutes, I believe. Danny Rick missed out on the entire FP2 mechanical failure, so he got out there for one lap. But look, yeah, as I said, this is Mercedes' race to lose. For Fish at the back of the pack, he's still in contention, I reckon, unless he crashes out early, which if he's behind Mazepin is a very, very strong
Very
chance
good
of happening.
Yep. I think for the whole field, if it's going to be raining, the important thing is that Bottas starts on pole because no one wants him behind them in a wet race at the start. Like we also hungry.
He doesn't care.
No, he is just a one-man battering ram, and now he doesn't have a team. So
Well,
he does have.
what's everyone's opinion on Ricardo? Because he was obviously a top driver at Red Bull.
Red Bull, yep.
Goes to Renault, has it's obviously quite public of how much trouble he had with the car. Now he's gone across to McLaren, and he's still struggling.
He's joined them at the right time, but they're
Yeah.
they're close.
They're building.
Not at their
It
peak, but they're building.
It is. Even Lando has come out and said it's one of the most difficult cars to get used to.
Yeah.
And Lando, the thing is with Lando, he's been with McLaren for years, so he's had
Yep.
the chance to develop with McLaren, move into
That
getting
car
used to the
is-
car. Where Danny Rick's gone from a very high-powered car in Red Bull to Renault underpowered Renault car, where he struggled absolutely his first season there, but then second season his use of the car came good. Struggled early part of this year with McLaren, went away from the summer break, got his head set, he's come back stronger, better than ever.
Even before the break, Hungary, he was on. He had a great qualifying session. Just got caught up in that shit at the start. Got
Yeah.
turned around and ended up finishing 11th because he had car issues. He has the car. He knows the car now. It's just about getting consistent. Good luck is what he's going to have to rely on now. He's going to qualify well because he can do it, and then he's just going to hope that they get through corners clean at the start and then they can get their head down. Everyone says that McLaren let him win that race over Lando. I think Lando would have struggled to pass because
Without team,
without team,
Without
because
team
look
orders.
at the first corner, Daniel Ricciardo had that lead. By the next chicane, he was 1.2 seconds ahead of Max, and he kept building. And Max never he got within a side of seconds, but couldn't close on DRS on the straight, couldn't get it done, and eventually, he held that 0.8 of a second lead until all the shit hit the fan. So I think he's good enough that if he does get in a position to win, he will deliver it. He's not getting handed it to him by McLaren. But Lando Norris is still the better driver. But he is good. He's good, I think.
Lando Norris is a future world champion.
Yes, George Russell.
Danny Rick, unfortunately, I don't think will ever win a world championship, but he's always good fun to watch, and he's a character. Everyone loves him in the paddock. So, good man, Danny Rick.
But he's getting the car. Benny, your thoughts on Daniel Ricciardo?
I
Big
totally
F1
agree. I totally agree.
fan? Benny doesn't watch F1.
Nah.
That's why I had to not let Scotty come on today and get Jared in because we don't need someone else who could talk F1 because it's a big thing. Ricardo coming off a win, next race, we needed to talk something about it. So.
And the best part is it's an early race for us here.
Yeah, it's not a fucking 2 a.m. one. So.
How good. But
Cheers,
what
Russia.
else? What else is happening this weekend?
We got Alexander Volkanovski fighting in the UFC. trying to
Yeah,
retain
well,
his title.
this is my turn to zone out and let you guys talk again.
Well, this is Chris's big topic. He's the combat sports guy here, but I like Volkanovski. I think he'll win this fight again. I think he's just a smart fighter. He doesn't knock people out. He gets good decisions, but I think he'll hold the title. Maybe that's the Australian bias, but I think he'll hold.
No, look, I didn't know much about him until a few years ago, and then all of a sudden he won a title. Coming up against Brian Ortega, look, it's going to be a tough fight. But I still don't think Brian Ortega needs to go for the knockout.
Yeah,
And I don't think Volkanovski is going to be that silly to get involved in it.
it'll just
He will just stand on the outside. He'll pick him apart and then take him down when he has to. And
He knows how to work the rounds.
that'll be it.
He 100% knows. He's probably one of the best workers of a round in the division.
I think because we've got two title fights tomorrow too.
yeah.
Valentina Shevchenko's fighting Lauren Murphy for the flyweight championship. Now I don't see that
Changing.
being an upset.
No, Shevchenko.
She's a killer, and not much you can say. I don't give her a chance. The one that's going to be interesting is Nick Diaz and Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, an old school fight.
Yeah, Nick Diaz hasn't fought since 2015.
Yeah, he's a long time out. And Robbie, last time he fought, got the shit kicked out of him. So wasn't it?
But the thing is, the UFC leaked a video of Diaz shadowboxing for the promo. He was at Evans' favorite. when that video was released, everyone threw money on Robbie Lawler.
Ooh, doesn't
I
look
have
good,
a
does it?
feeling we all tease the Diaz brothers about their intellect, but I have a feeling that Father Time is way past Diaz, and I don't. I think it's going to be a first round knockout.
6 years since his last fight. Like there is a thing called ring rust or
Oh,
octagon rust.
massively.
Like,
Look
Lawler's
at Conor
been there.
McGregor.
Yeah, exactly. Goes and takes the money of boxing, comes back, gets the shit kicked out of him by Khabib. And
So
has been
it's that
irrelevant
long.
since.
It could be less ring rust and more. There's probably going to be more rust than on the Titanic. Like it's.
But he'll try and make it a fight. But like
Yeah.
the first round knockout's a good thing because Nick will go hard early, and
He
can
will.
open
He'll
him up
swing.
for a good strike from Robbie, nice hard hands, and just drop him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I think it's going to be over within the first 2 minutes.
I thought you were going to say he was being smart and faking shadow boxing, looking like he wasn't good, getting his price up, and then
They
put the money on
can't. They
himself.
can't.
They're not that smart.
They're not the smartest set of brothers. They really aren't. That's kind of said when
No,
they did a press
met
conference
me and
with.
Troy?
Hey?
Have you met me and my brother? There's a fucking pair for you.
But I remember the press conference between Nate Diaz and Connor, and they asked him, they're doing the mic check, can you count to 3? And Connor turned around and said, he can't even count to 2. So it goes to show what the Diaz brothers, how smart they are. So, yeah.
Is Diaz the one that McGregor knocked out in like 14 seconds?
No,
No,
Diaz
that
beat
was,
him. That was Aldo.
Jose Aldo.
Nick
Never
Diaz
mind.
beat him in the first fight.
Notice how much I pay attention.
There we go. There's something for you, Nugget, and your brother. Everyone remembers the show. Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
Nope.
I reckon that's the
Smarter
show we can bring
Diaz
back.
brother.
Are you smarter than a Diaz brother?
Yes.
No.
Mate,
I don't wanna make him
my-
angry.
my 4-year-old will be smarter than the Diaz brothers.
I don't want to make him angry. We love you, Nick, legend, Hall of Famer. But,
I'll give you money to knock Jamie out though.
there's a lightweight boxer that's going to have that chance soon.
You know what? I'll put money on Jamie knocking both of them out.
Yeah, because you'll just ask him which one's the older one, and then they'll confuse themselves and fall over.
I just play mind games like, hey Nate, Nick.
They couldn't count to 5 between themselves. That's all right.
It's like, hey Nate, Nick said he reckons he can knock you out in 20 seconds, right? Oh, Nate says you don't have nothing on him, bro. He'll knock you out so quickly. And then I just sit back and watch it happen. WWE style. Speaking of WWE, real combat sport, let's be honest.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I just want to mention this because it's awesome. Aussie wrestler Rhea Ripley is now a tag team champion. I know Dan Nichols, if he watches this, will be happy. She's an Aussie. You hear it when she talks, thick as fuck Aussie accent, and she just won the tag team titles. I know, it's scripted and all that type of shit, but that's pretty cool.
Hang on, since when?
There's no under 18 kid is watching this, all right? But yeah, I'm just really happy that she won it. And Daniel Vito is going to be back in action against in NXT this weekend. So, the ex-Canberra Raiders guy
Well,
who did nothing.
you say that like, oh, it's scripted. Like the thing
They
is,
do have to earn it.
you look at a lot of the things that they produce now in terms of like the network and stuff on social media. They're not shying away from the fact that it is predicted. You know what I mean? They've started to embrace that fact. Like, yeah,
Sports entertainment.
But there are things in it where, when Eddie Guerrero first won the title, and that was at WrestleMania, he didn't know he was going to win that
so
title.
that was at No Way Out.
Yeah, was it?
Doesn't matter.
When
That was-
Benoit came down?
Yeah, no, Benoit won the title.
Oh,
that
Benoit.
night.
He won it earlier, and then Eddie Guerrero beat, I think it was Brock Lesnar later on to win
Yeah.
the title, but
Yeah,
he didn't know he was
at
going
No
to win.
Way Out.
Okay, well, he didn't know he was going to win. Like Vicky
Yeah.
Guerrero talked about it on something she did, where a lot of it is scripted, but there are big moments they lead to, like Big E on the weekend won the title, didn't know he was going to win when he went into it. So
Well, it's like, what
Chris
was
is
it?
just shaking his head.
What was it? There was a thing with interview with Undertaker when he was talking about when the streak was broken when he lost to Lesnar,
Yep.
and he said that he rocked up to the building on the day, saw Vince, and Vince said, "All right, we're going to end the streak." Taker just looked at him and said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" "Yep, I'm sure." "Okay," and just left it at that. Like, what they decided on the day that the streak was going to end.
Yeah.
Like,
Because it is very week to week writing. They don't.
Yeah.
Some of the storylines are planned in a long time in advance, but
what was it? There was an episode of Raw a couple of months ago.
Like, Chris, just want to step out, we'll just leave, and then these two can have their sword
Well,
fight with their
just-
dicks out.
Let's talk about ending a streak. Like, really?
Yeah.
Anyway, hang on. Here's the thing.
Is it really
Here's something we could talk about. A streak that was almost ended. The women's cricket.
there we go. Let's get us back on track.
That's a transition we can have.
Well done.
There we go.
Yeah.
First
But it
one
wasn't.
day, first one day of the summer, Australia versus India. India came out firing, scoring 254, I believe it was, in their 50 overs. And then Australia struggled early on in the innings before Beth Mooney hit an unbeaten ton to bring Australia home. Controversial standards in the end.
Get that
But,
India.
But yeah, get that.
Oh my
Thank you, Ben.
Settle down,
Thank you,
Jamie
Ben.
Soward.
Yep. So the streak continues. Australia's women's cricket side are now unbeaten in their last 26 one-day internationals.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Although it is cricket though, so couldn't you say that maybe it is scripted? India Cricket Board had that issue a couple of years back.
That was Pakistan champion.
Oh, Pakistan. Okay,
That's a
well, we're fine then.
racism. That's a
We're fine then.
racism. That's a
Is
big
it?
racism.
Yeah, wow. Well done.
It's cricket. I don't really care about it. Unless it's England, I don't
Cricket
care.
is
We're going to be
Australia's national
before
sport.
we even get a chance to get on air.
Yeah. Outrageous.
No, this
Hey,
is episode
controversy
4.
creates cash.
yeah. Maybe not when we're this small. But yeah, well done, Australia. I know we talked about it last night, Nugget. You said that they were in doubt of losing, and we told your brother to write a blog about it. Now, I guess
And now he's got
won't-
nothing to do because they
now,
won.
yeah, now he won't write about it because any excuse.
But yeah, no, Beth
Or he
Mooney
could-
and Talia
or-
McGrath really studied the middle of the innings to get Australia close, and
Well,
yeah,
he could
very
write it-
controversial way to end it too.
You could write it about the India point of view, snatching snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
He could. He just doesn't write. So this is a good excuse for him. to
He's
not
like a
do it.
Diaz brother, except they can't count and he can't write. So
Can or not?
Any other sports you guys want to touch on?
Well,
I
going back
think-
to the wrestling.
Oh, geez.
no, that's it. My drink's over. My drink is finished.
Yeah, I'm
leaving.
fucking done with it too. So yeah, that'll
Nah.
do us for Saturday sessions week 4. I think it's week 4.
Yeah.
I missed a week, so it doesn't really count. As always, subscribe to the channel wherever you see this link. Jump onto the channel, subscribe, hit the bell. We will have a new store coming up. Get some shirts. There will be Saturday sessions specific shirts. Holy crap! Why would I put those 4 words together? But yeah, check that out when they come.
Not that
Oh,
hard.
Diaz.
All right, you're a Diaz brother that just can't speak.
Yeah, I'm just having a lot of trouble.
Imagine
Jamie
having a
Diaz.
podcast when you can't talk.
Yeah. Well, I would never put 4 S words like that together unless it was like shit.
Saturday
some-
session specific teas. I don't know what you mean.
shirts.
Did you say
Alright,
safety
last-
sessions?
Saturday
Saturday
session
session
specific
shirts.
tea. Why would I say that?
I'm not even going to go there, so that's fine.
Saturday session specific shirts. Done.
No, you paused. You paused. That doesn't
Yeah,
count.
yeah,
no, I
the
didn't.
pause, yeah,
No, I
You
didn't.
absolutely paused.
Anyway, head over to the store, head over to fanbubblesports.com, check out all the latest blogs. We'll have a lot of stuff coming out over the weekend. Chris will have a boxing one. Benny's going to have some NRL and AFL. Jared will have some football stuff, and I will have some sort of college football, NFL related stuff. Red Sox just got whooped by the Yankees, so I'll probably bitch about that for a
How
nice
did,
500
how did
word
Mr.
blog.
X's tips go today? I didn't actually look at him this week.
1 from 1 in the first one, and the second one got scratched, so he's basically 1 from 1. So
Man,
he's looking
cool.
pretty good for the second
Man's
week
my
in a
hero.
row. He
Man's my hero.
He did want to stress to me that a lot of this week's ones were short prices because nothing really stood out for him. But last week he hit on a winner on a $7 chance. He got a place on one that he went each way. It was a $13 to win, $3.75 to place. So he pretty big last week. And if you followed my college gambling, you would have been 4-0-1. So I'm not going to say I know college football better than anyone else, but I do. So there's that. Anyway, thanks boys for joining me. We'll be back next
Well,
week
Thank you.
with some sort of another iteration of a lineup.
Thank you, oh Lord.
Yeah, the Overlord is back.
Thank you, Master.
Good show. Enjoy the AFL Grand Final tonight. If you guys can't go to the pub to watch the boxing, to
What's
watch
a
the
pub?
UFC, so maybe order it on Main Event. It's an Aussie, so it's worth it. And good luck to the Panthers tonight in the NRL.
Luck.
man-
I think they
man's
need
a
more
clown.
than luck.
This man is dead.
60-0.
Hey, it's the
All right,
Overlord.
you heard it here
No,
first.
no,
60
screw it.
nil. I'm
Nah,
going to hang
screw
up
it.
the phone
Let's
now.
have some more fun. 69-0.
Oh, with a field goal
Goodbye.
just to rub it in.
See you next week.
Later, guys.
See you guys.
Peace.